In New York, $3,000 a month rents you a one-bedroom apartment. Here in South Austin, that same $3,000 a month buys you a three-bedroom house with a yard. Let me show you exactly what your money buys here. Hi, I'm Brandon Holley with Holley Homes Realty here in South Austin. If you are thinking about moving from New York to Austin, whether you are in Manhattan, Brooklyn, or just across the river in New Jersey, and you are staring at your rent or your mortgage wondering what that same money would buy in Texas, this video is going to be for you. By the end, you are going to know exactly what $3,000 a month gets you in South Austin and the one financial detail that changes the whole picture. I'm going to show you three things. First, what $3,000 a month actually buys across South Austin, Kyle, Buda, and Bastrop with real numbers. Second, the honest truth most agents will not tell you about Texas property taxes and insurance, and why your monthly payment does not stretch quite as far as the sticker price suggests. And then third, the number that actually makes this move work, the one that has nothing to do with the house at all. Here's where we are in summer of 2026. New Yorkers are not imagining this. Texas is the #1 state in the country for people moving in, and New York is one of the top 3 states sending people here. You're a part of a very big, very real wave, and the reason is simple. It comes down to what a dollar buys. As of July 2026, the median one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan rents for around $4,393 a month. That is rent. You own nothing at the end of the day. Now let's talk about what that kind of money does in South Austin, because this is where New Yorkers tend to do a double take. If you're trying to figure out this move with real numbers instead of a sales pitch, hit subscribe. Every single week, I break down the numbers, the cities, and the information you need to know. So let's do the actual math, because this is the part that matters. As of July 2026, a 30-year fixed mortgage is running around 6.46%. When you take that rate, a standard down payment, and you add in Texas property taxes and homeowners insurance, about $3,000 a month all in, and by all in, I mean principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, puts you right around $400,000 home here in South Austin. So the real question is, what does $400,000 buy you across the areas I actually work? Let me walk you through it, because it is not the same everywhere. In the 78748 zip, the heart of South Austin, the median home sold for $385,000 in June 2026. So your $3,000 a month lands you right in the middle of that market, a 3 or 4 bedroom home. And I will be honest with you, that market is fast. Homes are selling in about 18 days. If you head a little further south out to Kyle, about 25 minutes, and that same money goes much further. The median home in Kyle sold for around $301,000. So your $400,000 budget is buying you well above the median, more square footage, newer construction, often a much bigger lot. And in Buda, right between the two, the median was about $338,000. Again, your money buys you more house than the typical buyer is getting. And out in Bastrop, where the median sits around $412,000, you're getting close to a full median home. And here's the interesting part, Bastrop is actually a buyer's market right now, so you have real room to negotiate. Now compare that to what you left. In New York, $3,000 to $4,000 a month was your rent in a one bedroom. Here, it is your mortgage on a house you own with a yard in a good school district. That is the difference, and it is not a small one. And real quick, drop a comment and tell me where you are moving from, New York, New Jersey, wherever. Would love to know your honest opinion and what questions you have about your move. Okay, so now here is the honest truth most agents will not tell you, because it is not the fun part. Texas property taxes are high. There is no way around it. In the Austin area, you are generally looking at an effective rate somewhere around 1.8 to 2% of the home's value per year. And in some brand new master plan communities that have what is called a MUD or a PID, a special taxing district that pays for the roads and amenities, that combined rate can climb to 2.5 or even 3%. On top of that, homeowners insurance in Texas is not cheap either. The statewide average in 2026 is running around $3,800 a year. So when I tell you $3,000 a month buys around a $400,000 home, that is going to be the reason why. Those taxes and that insurance are baked into the payment. In a low tax state, that same $3,000 a month might stretch to a $450,000 home. Here in Texas, the taxes and insurance pull it back to around $400,000, and that is the part a lot of relocation videos skip. They show you the low sticker price and go quiet on the tax bill. I don't want to do that to you because I think the real numbers are very important. But here is the number that changes everything. New York state income tax runs from 4% all the way up to 10.9%. And if you live in New York City, you pay a city income tax on top of that, close to another 3.9%. So a household earning around $150,000 in this city can pay well over $12,000 a year in state and city income tax combined. Texas has none of that, zero state income tax and zero city income tax. So think about what that actually means before you have talked about a single house. Moving from New York to Texas is like handing yourself a raise of $10, $12, sometimes even $15,000 a year just in taxes you no longer have to pay. And here's the key, that raise often covers the high property tax you were just worried about. That is the inversion most people get backwards. They come in worried about the property tax, but when you run the whole picture, the income tax you stop paying in New York usually wins. That is the real financial story of moving from New York to Texas. And a quick note for my New Jersey folks, because I know some of you are watching, your situation is even more lopsided. New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the entire country. The average bill is over $9,000 a year, plus a state income tax. So coming to Texas, you drop the income tax completely, and our property taxes, as high as they are, will not shock you the way they shock a New Yorker. You have already seen much worse. So let me make this simple. If you want the most house for your $3,000 a month, look at Kyle or Buda. Your money buys well above the local median, and you are still an easy drive to Austin. If you want to be in the core of South Austin, closer to the city, 78748 is your spot. Just know it is a fast market, so you have to be ready to move. And then if you want negotiating room and a little more land, look at Bastrop. It is a buyer's market right now, which means you have leverage that you have not had in New York in years. And watch out for this. If you fall in love with a brand new home in a master plan community, always ask what the total tax rate is, including any MUD or PID. That is the one number that quietly changes your monthly payment. And it is the thing I check for first with every single client. Now, the honest objection a lot of New Yorkers tell me, Brandon, I am worried I am giving up the energy, the walkability, the everything of the city, and I'm going to end up somewhere that feels empty. That is fair, and I'm not going to tell you South Austin is Manhattan because obviously it is not. What I will tell you is what I am seeing with my own clients right now. I worked with a couple from Brooklyn a few months back, and the thing they kept saying to me over and over is that they cannot believe how much space they get for the price. They walk into a house here, a real house with a yard, a garage, and extra room for an office, and the number on it is less than what they were paying to rent a one-bedroom back home. It genuinely stops them in their tracks. That reaction is the whole thing. It is not that South Austin is trying to be New York. It is that you get to trade a small, expensive footprint for room to actually live. Space for your kids, a yard for your dog, an office so you are not working from the kitchen table. So the honest answer is this: you are giving up some things. You'll miss the food, the subway, being able to walk everywhere. But what you get back is space, ownership, and a tax situation that adds up to real money every single year. For most of the New Yorkers I work with, that trade is worth it. For some, it is not, and that is okay too. One honest note before I let you go: every number I gave you today is real and current, but your number is going to be your own. What you actually pay each month depends on your down payment, your loan, and the exact tax rate of the neighborhood you pick, and some of the newer communities carry higher rates than some of the others. And on the tax saving side, what you keep depends on your income and how you file your taxes. So you use these numbers for the big picture because the big picture is very real, but let's run your actual situation together and always check the tax details with your CPA. So if you're sitting in New York or New Jersey tonight doing this math in your head, I want you to know I do this every week for people exactly like you. I understand now may not be the right time, and I never want to be pushy. Just know that I am here if you have questions, would like to start planning, or need anything at all. If you want the full breakdown, I put together a Central Texas relocation guide that walks you through every one of these neighborhoods, the tax math, and a relocation timeline. It is free. The link is right down in the description below. My number, my calendar, and 2 ways to search homes are right down in the description also. And next week, I am breaking down the best Austin suburbs in 2026 and exactly where I would buy if I were starting over today. So if you are still deciding which town is right for you, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. My name is Brandon Holley with Holley Homes Realty, and I hope to see you next week.